Nobody can save the world by themselves, right? That's why the way to save the world is to build a super team. In this room, I see a super team. My name is Irena Pereira.
I'm Brian Birmingham.
Tom Ang.
David Cham.
Chris Serhut.
Jason Hutchins.
And we are here to make games that bring people together. Video games are not made by yourself. You typically have to have a giant army of people. I've been spending a lot of my time trying to collect the best of all the video game developers that I've had the honor of working with over the last 25 years in the industry, convincing them to come on this journey with me.
And so she's the one who really brought us all together. Was like, I have got these superstars I used to work with at Blizzard, these superstars I worked with at 38. I really want to bring all these people together and work with them again.
Everybody's got their slot and everybody can express themselves as artists.
It's like being in a band. Everybody doing their thing.
And when that art comes together,
it's magic.
We were just like finishing each other's sentences.
And that's what I get to do right now with this team. I'm building my super team.
Irena comes down and she says, "Hey Dave, we're gonna get the band back together. We're gonna make an awesome game." And I said, "All right, let's do it."
What we want to build is a game that really brings people together in a world where they can adventure together and build new friendships and stronger friendships and relationships playing together.
It's cooperation that's the win condition. Oftentimes in a video game, the win condition is dominance, last man standing, being on top, right? It's a very competitive framework. But we haven't looked at what games look like when it's all about cooperation. So what happens when you get rewarded for working together? Because what we want to do is make it always a net positive for you to encounter another player.
You were in this big shared world and it had these cool stories and places to go, but the real magic was you running into other people and working together with them and building these new relationships, building up the friendships, parties, dungeon groups, guilds, raids. All that stuff came from those first social interactions.
You're not going out there and just creating chaos. You're not out there just killing things. There's so much more value in being able to build something.
I think people are going to forge a lot of friendships and they're going to work together to save the world.
Unleashed Games is a collection of industry veterans who have been around many blocks, who know exactly how to deliver games.
We've done a lot of work in the way people develop friendships, and then we also have a bond amongst each of us around showing kindness, and we want to bring that together into this game so that people can really connect and feel like there's someone that cares about them.
We are not on a small mission. We're on a giant mission.
We want players to forge friendships in order to save the world. And when I say that, I don't just mean save the world in a game. I mean, save the world.
Hello, 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 and welcome to a special holiday edition, apparently, of the Unleashed Games Weekly Playtest, where you join me, Irena, the CEO of Unleashed Games, live as we actually live playtest our weekly changes in our prototype build of Haven, Forge Friendships to Save the World, a cooperative, family-friendly RPG set in a fantasy universe where you and your friends have to work together to literally save the world. I mean, literally, you build the whole thing together and you go on adventures and find more cool places and attach them to the land that you play in and so forth, and build amazing, amazing towns, villages, cities, capitals with your friends. We've been building this game since May of 2023, when we were accepted into Andreessen Horowitz's speedrun program in what I call season 1. There have now been 4 seasons of speedrun, but that really gave us the kick in the pants to be able to build the game that you see here today. And we have been riding the waves of this very interesting economic climate in the game industry, as the game industry is going under a few changes, as we've been noticing. But at the same time, we persist and we keep doing these play tests. Why? Because we love games, and there's not a game necessarily like this on the market. And the people who come every week, you faithful friends who stick with us every single week, thank you so much for being here and continuing to support us. And also, you new folks, if this is your first time, thank you and welcome. And please come back. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe to get notified when we're live. And we're live every single Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. The big point of most of these playtests, aside from actually playing the game, is to do a little bit of an investor update. And really the investor update that I have right now is that though there are many conversations kind of in play for Unleashed Games, and there are actually a lot of projects that are moving forward and developing, but they're developing at a pace slower than we're necessarily happy with. But we are currently a volunteer organization. People come in and are literally building this playtest, this prototype for free every single week. And we have a team of about 12 people that live in our Discord, and we push these changes live. We make new builds, and we're going to check out what it is that we have in store. We have a few major, not major updates, minor updates. I've gone in and actually updated some of the icons, and we found a resolution because there was actually a ratio issue with the icons. If you do things out of the powers of 2 in terms of like image rendering in a UI, it tends to cause some like weird dithering. So I went through and I polished up, and I actually used AI to help support like cleaning up some of these icons at a lower resolution. It was actually a really, really cool thing to do. We also added a couple of little holiday surprises, which we will find out. But we've also added a new buildable item. And the buildable item is so cool in the fact that it's a beacon. You actually have to build a beacon now in game to be able to get to a whole new zone. A whole new zone. I guess that's a major update. But y'all have to work together to find all the stuff and the things and put it together in the box and see what happens. I don't know. I cannot wait to play. Okay, let me just calm down. The elf is watching. But we don't do this playtest alone. We actually have a guest that joins us every single week, and I'm sorry for delaying his entry onto the stage, but I would really love to welcome our amazing guest who I met just recently, but that meeting was one of the most epic conversations that I had ever had with a human being within seconds of meeting them. And I'm so happy to have you here, Brandon. Welcome.
Irena, I was going to say you're going to let everybody down, but I'm going to try my best. And after an energetic welcome like that, man, I'm pumped. I'm ready to watch Aladdin for some reason and get to playing Haven.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on, what time is it in England?
It's currently 7:13 over here.
7:13. Okay. So, I mean, we're well past 5 o'clock on a Friday evening. I hope that this is a good replacement for your busy plans. Where are you in the world, actually? Share with our friends.
So right now I'm actually over in Oxford, and don't tell anybody because they're going to want me to do things and say things. So I'd much rather be here playing Haven with you, exploring, and especially with a lot of the folks that happen to be joining us in the room right now, which is all of the lovely folks from the gaming community, which is, they're my people. I don't know about you, but I know that took our 30-minute conversation, that with a little Cthulhu, and then we ended up going on for what, 2.5, 3 hours or something like that.
Oh my goodness. Our conversation was absolutely epic and one of the most delightful journeys that I've had since reading Homer's Odyssey. I have to be honest.
It was a journey, and it was crazy, and I learned a lot about the state of Rhode Island.
Well, yes. And in fact, the things that I taught you apparently inspired some creativity on your part, didn't it?
They did. I don't think it's not for here yet, but we'll have to drop the song release.
Maybe we can tease it, but literally Brandon composed an AI song about Haven and Unleashed Games with maybe some sort of hint at the Elder Gods. I'm not sure, but maybe.
Remember, we have to be serious about everything that we do. I think that's how that works, right?
Oh, yes. we make serious stuff, video games.
I'm so jealous though. Your background, it's so cozy, it's so friendly, it's so warming. There's even the little stockings, it's very, you know, wonderfully Christmassy. I couldn't achieve that even if I tried, you know.
I appreciate you, but literally this is just an accident. This is our living room. That's like those are me and my kids up there. But we're not necessarily getting snowed in, but there's a snowstorm coming in, and I didn't want to be driving on the highway back from my studio. And so the weather outside is frightful. But
and the fire is so delightful.
The fire instead is so delightful.
And if you have no place to go,
let it snow. Let it snow. I think it's let it snow with the
and
golden
hey, anytime there's a dog involved, it's all the better. But I was going to say, get cozy and grab a chair or a seat or wherever people are and watch some Haven. Get excited, right?
Absolutely. Well, I have to ask, Brandon, do you play MMOs? Are you an MMO fan?
You know, there's a reason why I use Leroy Jenkins references, right? And I know, right? Some World of Warcraft vanilla, like that's been my jam, or like Jagex's RuneScape, right?
Ooh.
And see,
Ooh.
Yari just left a comment. Oh, Puppo. I agree. See, dogs make everything better. Prove that I'm wrong.
Make everything better. Though he's feeling a little bit under the weather. So please, everybody, send him some good vibes because he's got a little tummy upset. Goldens do not do well when they get scraps, and he ate a Christmas cookie at some point. So that was not good. Anyway, well, we're gonna play some Haven. We're gonna jump in. Let's see. So you have context for, actually, could you just tell me a little bit more? Because, you know, you mentioned Leroy, you mentioned vanilla. I need to know more. What class, what was your highest level obtained? What expansion are you still playing, or what expansion did you leave out? What was your favorite expansion?
Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I got all the way up to, I think it was 90, and my favorite expansion. I know this is back when you would use what was it, Trillion, which is the voice chat stuff, you know, and you'd have your guild, and you know, I'd have to say like Burning Crusade, all-time favorite, right? And I think you had something to do with that, you know.
Maybe a little.
Just dust it off, you know. You're like, yeah, no big deal. Just got that pumped out, you know. But I mean,
I didn't build the Arena PvP like UI and whole team system, not at all.
Yeah, but I was going to say, my friend he chose a hunter, and I think at the time he tricked me, and so I ended up being a paladin. Because I think he needed somebody to tank and he needed somebody to heal.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I did that, but my favorite character was Warlock. And then
Dark.
I know, right? Good light. I think he ruined it for me. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We need to destroy and corrupt everything. I maybe he left a lasting some repressed feelings. I don't know, but yeah,
a lot for your mental health, I think.
That's it. Well, that's a whole other topic. It's a dark game, and we call that game life. So
we don't go there. We play video games. We make video games. It's even better. Welcome to the Matrix.
That's it. So this is where I have to try to be composed and serious and, you know, professorial and all that.
Why? Huh? No? Nah.
No. But no, I mean, I did that for I think, as I said, all the way up to level 90 before the pandas, which I'm kind of upset because I like pandas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a spirit animal side, but I never got to play because, see, there we go. You agree. Pandas are amazing. Let's see if I can do that too. Oh, see, it doesn't do it for me. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And RuneScape, again, my jam, like RuneScape Classic. And I still hop on WoW every now and again. What do you call it? This is where she's, stop, Brandon, stop. No.
No, I just had a 14-year-old walk in the door, so I just like muted from the herd of elephants. It is not a stampede of wildebeest either.
Oh, see, it's healthy when you lasted longer than most before people shushed me. Like that's 30 seconds is the average time, that it takes before I get tasered or otherwise just cut from a feed in an emergency. So no, I mean, still hop on, some WoW vanilla every now and again when I have time. And
have you played hardcore mode?
I haven't. What's hardcore mode?
Hardcore mode? No, it came out just this year of WoW Classic hardcore mode where you can play a character, and if you die once, you are dead. It's permadeath.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so
it's like a roguelike.
Yeah, pretty much. Except it's very intense, and there are actual like stats and leaderboards over like how long different classes are surviving and how high level they get. But like I love this idea. They've been building with Season of Discovery as well, like all new game modes and mixing and matching classes. It's been a little wild over in World of Warcraft land.
I need to check back in to see what's been going on. Between that and Riot with the stuff that they're pushing out with League of Legends. This is my good old friend Paul Oliver that's doing some amazing stuff there. It's like, and recently a lot of Age of Empires and Age of Mythology.
Some of my favorites, absolute favorites.
It dates me though, that's the thing. Back in my day, we didn't have the remastered edition. We only had Age of Empires 2 and we liked it.
Oh my goodness. But you know what? As we've learned with like the whole sequel train in games is that the games don't get better as they go on in like different iterations. And sometimes like, you wish for the simple version of the game, right? But that's kind of one of the impetuses of us building Haven is that we missed like the vanilla version of WoW. We missed what MMOs used to be when they were just a little bit more of the social versus the combat and the progression and the stat hunting and the gear hunting, all of that. So speaking of which, I think we should jump in. But one of the things that we like to do, have you seen our trailer? Have I shown you our trailer yet?
I've seen a trailer, but I don't think I've seen the trailer. So I'd love to see the trailer.
Well, the trailer, this is our prototype trailer. And as a game studio that's developing out in the open, we're just like playing our prototype like live on stream every week. We also built with our existing gameplay footage and some contributions from some amazing, amazing talent, put together a prototype of what we want our trailer to look like. And we're hoping to continue like improving what it looks like every chance we get. But what we do is we jump into our trailer and then we jump in game. Sound good?
2 thumbs up. I don't have the little thinking.
The world we once knew has been lost to shadow. Was it sunder in fire and brimstone? Drowned in flood and rain? Was it tragic decadence? A great fall? Unspeakable corruption? Or did the awakening of magic destroy our world? No one knows for certain. Reach through the shadowy mists. Find a fragment of land infested with shadowy corruption, yet lit enough to find your way. find a creature of light, a sylph. They are friendly and willing to guide you. Perhaps the two of you can find other survivors. Perhaps this land can serve as a shelter. Perhaps together you can build a sort of haven. Forge friendships to save the world.
Ah, ha, ha. You ready? Let's go.
All right, I am. I've got. What should my name be? This is where, like, I feel like a
This
poll
is
would
for an
not
account
be
name.
okay. So first off, I love how it has that like original World of Warcraft kind of UI vibe.
Huh.
Imagine that. How strange.
Well, it's
Okay,
odd that that would happen.
I know, so
But
strange.
go
So
ahead.
I guess
Just type in any name.
okay. So I'm any name. I'm gonna hit login.
Very literal.
It's you gave me a challenge, and all right, I think we're connecting.
Maybe. Are you connecting?
I don't know. I want to connect to people on an empathetic level and a deep spiritual level, but I don't feel like I always can.
Do me a favor. We're going to troubleshoot a little bit. Looks like you don't have a text file in your folder. So we have a specific text file that needs to go in the same folder as your Mac app or where the executable is. I'm going to send it to you through our secret back channel messaging. And I'd love for you to just drop it right next to wherever the you have the game extracted.
Getting into the nitty-gritty of game design. Let's see.
Yeah, there's just a little spare file that we use to kind of point you to our servers. It makes it pretty flexible for us to move around from different server farms.
Well, I'm ready to go, and let's see here. Aha! I think I have something, so I'll go ahead and drop this in.
Hooray!
And let's try to open it up again. Okay. So we're going to put in any name again, and we're going to log in. And let's see here. I still have connecting, but let me try one more time. Third time's the charm, as they say. And we should be good. Okay.
I'm on the server.
Oh, I can't leave you running around all on your own, you know. Not when the legend of any name hasn't even begun, you know.
We still are awaiting the arrival of any name.
Long may he reign. Let's see.
So we have a bunch of different characters.
Right. So I'm trying to log in again, and let's see if it's going to cooperate. All right, it still says connecting. So bear with me.
I'm wondering if it's it can't be a UK issue.
I mean, it's there is a good possibility because the connectivity here is terrible. But let me see. I've got one more trick up my sleeve, and then I will give it a go. And
Do you
one
have
of
a
the things that
VPN?
I can try to connect to and via my VPN. It's going to say one of the things that I can respect is doing these live playtests. Shows the true indie studio spirit, because this is where a lot of folks don't get to see sometimes during the dev process.
Mhm.
Bugs can happen. Okay,
Absolutely.
so
Well, this is why we
I
test, and you're proving to us a challenge in connecting. I'm wondering. I'm going to log in with a character and see if anybody else is logged in, because we share our build within our Discord.
no worries.
Um,
And
I see.
what I can do is I can also connect via a US-based AWS NVIDIA RTX workstation to see if that does the trick. Brought to you by NVIDIA.
So one of the
Interesting.
things that Brandon has been awesome since we've met, and one of the things he recommended first was that I apply for the NVIDIA Inception program, which is a startup program sponsored by NVIDIA that provides a lot of resources to AI-driven startups to build out infrastructure. And one of the things that I got was Google Cloud credits, quite a bit of them, actually. And not only that, I just had a meeting this week, Brandon, with Google and a third-party contractor. I have my hours from that I can bill against for this third-party contractor to help migrate us and set up our infrastructure over on Google Cloud. It is so cool.
Yeah,
It is so cool. Thank you.
No, don't thank me. This is where the Google guys do an incredible job, and they have what's called NRE, non-reoccurring engineering, and they really make sure that you can use the best of the resources and create the best experience for you and your players. So, they're awesome partners, and NVIDIA is awesomer because they also enable folks anywhere. Your startup has to be, I think, under 10 years old, and you can apply, and there's no cost at it. We've done a couple of live streams as well. So let's see. I'm going to give this one last go here to see if I can't get it working. Otherwise, I want you to walk me through. I love the feel. I love the art style from what I'm seeing. So I'm trying my best to not get distracted. So I'm trying to be very, very dedicated here. Okay.
I'll dance to encourage you and wave.
The legend of any name. Yeah, I don't have. It's not a security issue. I think, and I have it's the Haven folder, and then I have the app, and then I have the server list.txt. Is that right?
That is correct. And within that server list, don't read off the IP address, but there should be an IP address on the port.
Yep. So I've got that as well.
And that is really strange. Well, we are clearly not a global company yet, and that's why we need Google Cloud.
That is, they'll be able to help with some of this, but that's okay. You know what? They can help you. I think they A lot of my friends at GCP just think, "Oh, Brandon, you're beyond help," so we're not even going to give it a go. But if I can, right? So I love what I'm seeing here. If I remember correctly, you've created some new AI generated logos and assets. Is that right?
Yeah, so I actually updated to iOS, and I played around with their Genmoji tool and created assets with Apple's own generative engine to update our icons down here. I don't know. What do you
Mhm.
think?
I mean, I think it's pretty incredible, right? Because uh, they look really well polished, and they have a consistent design style, which is awesome. And I don't know, it just kind of gives that friendly, accessible aesthetic as well. So
For
um,
sure, for sure. And what we have over here, so our game consists of two parts. One
mhm,
is this village space that I'm running around in, and this is where you and your friends, you and I, can build houses. You can see one is already built over here, and houses actually confer some gameplay benefits. They give you a rested buff, which
mhm,
means once I get this buff, it's going to pop on in here in just a second. But if you stand around somebody's house, that house will give you a buff. So you can actually get a buff from your friends, even if they're not there. And that buff, in like this one in particular, this is the basic one. It increases your movement speed and it increases your health and mana regen. So it makes adventuring a lot more convenient and a lot easier. But it only lasts for about 15 minutes. So
mm,
what we see in this village zone is a bunch of land that you and your fellow friends build your houses on. You build shared buildings, and you progress and you build a whole village together cooperatively to help benefit each other. And then also your own house that you build and you upgrade, that house will then have a custom buff relative to what it is that you've customized. So saying, you're a mage, like I am, and
mhm.
you're a frost mage, like this particular character is. We've got water bolt and ice spear, um, and freeze as our primary damage abilities. Like I would have a mage tower that has, frost magic imbued into it. So my house buff might actually give you a frost resistance. So
Wow.
that but you can only have one house buff from one house. So you choose from your friends which house buff you want, depending on the utility that you need in that gameplay moment. Um, so there's lots of cool gameplay stuff. And it's all really inspired by Age of Empires and Age of Mythology, that classic RTS progression tree. You have to
Right.
build a town hall after you get 3 houses. And then once you build a town hall, then you can unlock a stable and a blacksmith. And then there's characters associated with that and trade skills associated with that then you unlock, not just for you, but for your whole village. It's really cool.
So you're a real
And
estate investor, you're a city builder, and
absolutely, well,
then
you're a community organizer. Is that a
that's
bad
it.
word these days?
I,
But
I don't even know
the
what's
intention is to
bad or not.
build
This is
the
awesome.
underpinnings for community here.
Right. There was a game,
Um,
I don't know if you recall, what was it? It's a long time ago. It was called Worm Online,
ooh,
WRM. And it reminds me of this, where you'd have this progressive kind of buildings. Sorry, my mind is just going straight to Age of Empires now when I'm watching this. So, um,
right. I wanted you to play essentially Age of Empires from the perspective of one of the villagers, except if you have magic powers.
that's the best part, right? You can give somebody
Absolutely.
a water blast or an ice spear or something straight to the face.
Straight
Uh,
to the face. Yes, either face freezing or face melting. That's usually preferable.
it is. So you're gathering
So
this wood, and then uh, now are these are the resources as you're building the building, right?
yeah. So here we go. Oh, look, I put a light on this on this mining node here. But here I'm getting some
Mhm.
rock and clay. Oh, hey, this one's interactable too. There's a little light on that one too. I was trying to figure out how this week how to get the resources highlighting and standing out from the environment a little bit better, so that it was
Mhm.
easier to tell and distinguish from just the decor. I'm all
I
about
think
like the UX.
it's that Mario kind of theme of don't give a million tooltips, just kind of let the player explore and figure it out, right? That's what we call
Absolutely.
good game design, I think.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of diegetic UI as also like having it being a part of the world and learning through context clues. And in fact, let's see. So we built the arcane mill, and I got a few more resources. So if there
You know
were,
what?
there's nobody in my zone right now, but I'm gonna just toss this stuff in there. Look, I got 3 clay. Did not get enough rock, so I'm gonna need more rock, but I still need some hardwood and some cotton bolts to be able to build this. So this is a shared building. This is our arcane mill that allows
Mhm.
for crafting. Though there are other things I can build, like there's another beacon, like I mentioned before. There's a beacon that we can place. I'm just
Ooh.
going to drop this right here. Uh-oh.
It's a Bob Ross moment. You can't place anything wrong. There's no mistakes. There's just happy accidents. Uh, it has a nice
Huh.
nice vibe here. And
The beacon isn't placing though. Let's try up here.
it's too much power.
Too much power. Too much power
That's
in
it.
one person.
Rami said
Nope.
as well. He's all the way in Dubai, and he's joined on the comment, and he said it has a Zelda X RuneScape art style, which is really
Yes. Yes. I love to hear it.
you know.
Oh no, the beacon is not placing.
Uh-oh. I was going to say the other side of not letting me log in is actually you've used AI for removing negative or toxic players. So it blocked me before I could even attempt to join. Right? That's it's
Oh,
just that
are you
advanced.
saying you're a toxic player? No. No.
I don't, maybe I have some sort of latent anger issue. I don't know. Uh, it only comes out during game sessions. Man,
We do
it,
have a friend. Ozem!
look at that.
Oh, it's so good to see you, friend.
And there's the emojis.
We have some, emotes with some animations that could be better. But they're, I think there's actually a bug in the animation system. These animations are phenomenal, actually. These were built by, yeah, look at that one. My friend Brian Labor, who came on as an animator. He's worked on Diablo. He's worked on Skylanders. He's worked on Amalur. He's worked on Asheron's Call. Some really classic, beautiful games. And he just knocked it out of the park with our animations.
You know
But
what
the
I really
mage
like about
is
it
buggy.
is the art style. It has a really, and in fact, right as I was about to say something. Sorry, it just shows as LinkedIn user, but let's see what they said. Let's see. Yari, Brandon, there's no toxicity coming from you. You're too kind. Uh-oh. Toxic kindness. That's what it is,
Toxic
Yari.
kindness.
But
No.
Emily, for whatever the reason, it's showing you as LinkedIn user. LinkedIn live events are still a little bit special, but
Yeah, special.
she said, "Oh, the grass is amazing. I love the lighting and color." And she took that exactly. I was going to say that one of the things that I think is admirable from what I'm seeing is that the art style here it's distinct, right? The shading is very timeless. It almost has kind of like I get kind of like a Wind Wakery sort of a art style, which is lovely.
I
And
love to hear it.
the details of the grass swaying, is really exciting. So, I can see that a lot of heart has gone into it, which is incredible.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And we have friends here. We have a tank, and I'm a mage, and we've got a healer. So you can live vicariously through us as we patrol these lands. Let's head out this way, friends.
I'm going to
So this
backseat.
is one of our AI generated zones. We use a blend of some intelligence in how these objects are placed, and it's some procedural technology to generate zones on the fly. So no version of this zone is the same ever. It's kind of like shuffling a deck of cards. It looks very similar, but it's not quite.
So a better version of No Man's Sky, if I want to be a bit biting, right?
Yeah, and this is a contained zone. This one is designed for probably about 20 players, but we imagine like having various scales of zones, and we want you to run into other people. So we want the zones to be kind of like a shared playground that we funnel people together. This is how I've met my friends here. We all have our own villages, but we all came together in this adventure zone. And now we can work together to find stuff and things.
And loot. I love
and loot.
That it's just called loot. That actually, we're cutting out any pretense and we're getting down to the brass tacks of what you want, which is just give me the loot.
Well, there was actually a values driven conversation around how we were setting up our game, because trade skills play a very, very important role in our progression. Because who doesn't love crafting? Do you like crafting?
Yeah. I love crafting.
One of my favorite things was to play the auction house in WoW. But in order to have crafting be meaningful, you can't just have wolves drop swords. That doesn't make sense. You have to be able to drop items and process them and turn them into useful things. And if you've got base resources, those are much easier to train, and then players can customize them. So we've built this built and designed a deep crafting progression system that allows you to discover recipes, and then there's you can share recipes for people to be able to craft. So there's it's more resource focused and reagent focused. And I'm not sure if that's going to kill us or if that's going to be cool. That's one of the things we have to test.
Well, getting community feedback. I was going to say, obviously wolves don't drop daggers and swords. They drop sensible sweaters.
Yes, absolutely. As one does. A woolly jumper.
Yeah, some of the fashion that the youth of today are wearing, it's could be a wolf's jacket made out of vegan leather and whatnot. So let's see.
Truth. So things that we've done recently is we have just made minor UI changes, and it has made the game feel so much better. It's hard to express what just a clean UI does for a game, but it's one of those things where if the changes feel invisible, it means you've done a better job.
100%. It's what do you call it? You don't want to overcomplicate things, and I think a lot of stumbling that I see in a lot of games that have been coming out, especially like this. I'm thinking would be lovely to play on mobile as well, and with a
That's
server connection, like you could jump from computer to your mobile and take it on the go with you, right?
That is literally how it works. This is playable on mobile, both Android and iOS, as well as Mac and PC, and eventually console. We want to be fully cross-platform because we think that that's the future of games.
All right.
Oh, we just got air horned, but we haven't found Cobblemot's lair.
I don't know what Cobblemot's lair is, but I'm
I
intrigued. I want to know. Tell me everything.
I need to tell you everything. So not only do we have like this cool base zone to explore and go and collect resources from, but we also have a boss level, which we try to take down the boss
And now
every
Emily
week.
asked, that's surprising. The environment design looks very inviting, seemingly pulling the eye to specific areas of the screen. And then she goes, that's AI generated? And
Well, yeah, it is entirely populated by AI.
look at that. Except for the humans.
Except for the humans, yes.
But, you know,
now, a human has
we call that
configured the zone. We've, you know, given it the textures and objects to place, and some of these like little vignettes we have like pre-specified, but like the details of the vignette are unique every time. Oh, hey, I just saw what we have found what we're looking for. It's right up here, yo. I see it. I see it.
I know with a lot of and we'll get into this at some point with some of the NVIDIA tech that's coming out, there is the ability to drop this in, especially now that you're getting that NRE support from the Google guys, to add in you can train the AI and make variations of all of the buildings, all of everything to conform into a certain style.
That's what we want, and what we want to do with this prototype is now put in an AI backend so that every version of this building that is rendered is slightly unique, including the texture set. It still lives and, you know, is specified by the base texture, but then we can create an alternative. And then we can also use AI to drive, like, what does a snowy version of this zone look like? And just change the weather settings and have it apply to all the textures.
Yeah. You know, Rami, I was going to say, this really does have like that Zelda, Wind Waker, and the Zelda, what is it? Oh, what's the Skyward Kingdom, is it? Vibe to it. It's just
very complimentary, these things that you're saying.
No, it's meant to be. It's fair. It's accessible. The palette is very nice. It's very cozy, even though there's a werewolf that's attacking Janelle. You know,
that's the desire, to have a cozy game where you face your nightmares.
Yeah, and you don't even need to you do it in real life, you know, because real life isn't as cozy, is it?
No,
you can't use
not.
An ice spear or a water bolt to the face to solve your problems.
Well, I do appreciate having that power in my fantasy land. If I don't have that power to water bolt somebody in the face in real life,
yeah, maybe
it's a good outlet.
Just take a squirt gun, you know.
It
take
wouldn't
it to a meeting.
go as well as it does, you know. I mean, Cobblemot's not that mad at me, and I keep water bolting him in the face over and over again. Ice spear, water bolt.
That's it. Oh. You just, you know, like a Hadouken, you just have to scream it out loud every time.
We also added new spell effects. You can see all these new particle effects on my casting. I'm so stoked. Looks good.
This is pretty awesome. It does. And
I wish you were
Yari,
playing, Brandon.
I wish I was playing too, but you know what? I kind of for it weirdly, you've got the festive vibe behind you, and then there's a cozy game, in front of me. I feel like I need the warm cup of milk now, and like I am all set, right? This is so relaxing. But that's all right. And Yari just said, yes, console with an exclamation point. So
Yes. Our
uh,
goal is just to
to
make this game completely platform agnostic. Oh, did I just loot the thing?
Yeah.
I just ninja looted
You did.
whatever it is that it dropped.
Need before
don't-
greed.
I'm a terrible mage, just yoinking all the fat loots. I have
It's
a
always
turquoise.
that or the rogue. So tell
We don't have a
tell
rogue
me,
yet,
what are the
so I guess I
classes?
am the one. I am the one.
Highlander.
Yay!
Wow. That can only be one.
Cheer! So this is our little video game. We have more environments. We can generate more and more environments. We have actually 3 that we've created. And one of them I was supposed to show off today, and our server, for some reason, doesn't want to let us. So, and it doesn't want to let you in. So the server is just mad at us, apparently.
No, that's just good programming. I mean, I wouldn't let me in either. I mean,
No. The beacon. I
it's
can't believe the beacon won't build.
but you know what? Again, it's brave to do a alpha build show, and if everything was working, then it would be highly suspicious. And it shows that the cool thing is that a lot of the feedback that you're getting from build to build, a lot of the progression, even when I saw from when you were playing with Amir, was you've been able to iterate on that rapidly. So this sense of community feedback getting built into the game, I don't think that there's a lot of studios that would take that open approach, which is awesome.
Well, thank you very much. We decided to take this radical approach to game dev and build out in the open because we're building a game about community, and one of the biggest factors in the success of World of Warcraft was how well our team paired with the community. I mean, how I was embedded in the add-on community, and I was like directly in charge and responsible for supporting our players in modifying our own game. And that perspective and that sort of relationship with community is what I've taken into every team that I've ever worked on, trying to find ways to open it up, because I feel like games like this that have a long lifeline and a long, trajectory, they need to have open communication with their players. Otherwise, the game can't be successful, because these games get so big that it's near impossible to stay on top of all of the different aspects and facets of the gameplay. And when you work hand in hand with your community, the game just ends up being 100 times better.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, Yari, she has so much to say on this, which is great. She's saying, first off, you're a loot goblin. So I mean, I can't.
That is me.
I kind of wish that was my name. So when I play, it'll be Loot Goblin. That's just, you can trust old Loot Goblin, and she can't wait to play it, which is so true. Neither can I. But again, just watching, it's very like, I know, but the server made the right call. Let's be honest here, right? It looked at my IP and it just said, no, we're not having any of that.
Nope.
Which makes all sense in the world. That's what it told me. It said nope. But
nope.
Yeah, and this reminds me too. So there was an anime series. Again, this is old school. I didn't know when we were calling early 2000s old school, but here we are, called .hack or .hack sign. And they used to have these PS2 games, and you would put in these worlds, and each of the worlds would they'd have 3 names, and then that would connect you to that world. And it has that same vibe, right? Where it's like folks can create these little clusters, these villages, and these spaces, and then build around it. So
That is
there's a
literally
lot of
it.
charm to it.
That is
And the difference
essentially
is
the goal.
the PS2 version, you couldn't connect to anybody. It was all NPCs. So this is realizing that reality that an anime from oh gosh, 20 years ago said would be the future.
That was the
I
intent,
suppose
is we wanted to build the game architected in the way that we knew a digital world could organically grow. And with the inclusion of AI, you can actually build that foundation within like a standard. And then just like great evolution systems leverage AI to make slow like variations, like tiny variations that then give a sense of culture and difference between one village and the next. It's not necessarily like completely othering, but it gives players some sort of agency over the style and how they express themselves. But as a group, there's been no game that has explored that. And that's what we're most excited about. Like, what does gamified community building look like?
That's not Hunger Games, but we call that the gaming industry as of late.
Oh, well,
so fix that,
Well, we're trying to fix that, right? We're trying to add a little bit more of a positive vibe. But I mean, quite literally, the game industry is eating itself. And some of our best creators are struggling to survive. And games like this and other games, ones that we've promoted here on this channel, such as Trip the Light from Dark Art Software with our friend Patrick, who joined us last week, as well
he's
as
so cool.
I know, such a cool product. Or Bill Roper's team over at Lunacy Games, that game with the Cthulhu vibe, like it's a survival crafting game within a horror survival or horror Cthulhu vibe. 110%, but like so excited for that. A spiritual successor to Hellgate London. That team won't survive without backing, and we won't survive without backing and won't survive without support. But we do know that players want this game, so we just keep building it anyway. And we're hoping that there are other people out there that want to see and share in our success, because we have nothing but success ahead of us. It's just a matter of who wants to be on the ride early.
So there's opportunity, you're hearing. No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's fascinating from my perspective, right? Because I have a lot of really enthusiastic people that are working on some pretty cool stuff. Some that are working on stuff. And I think
Stuff and things.
from what I've stuff and things, but it's not the loot that you want, right? But what I've really gotten, like, I think Unleashed Games and the passion, the energy, the polish, the design, right? I mean, probably out of 200 or 300 projects that I've seen over the last couple of months, like this really grabbed on to me. And I'm like, okay, yes, like this is incredible. This is awesome, right? Like I sent it over to the Inception guys, and I'm like, you have to look at this. It's amazing. I mean, they thought so, right? There were some that I even thought that the NVIDIA guys looked at and passed. So, they think that you're pretty great. The Google guys think that you're pretty great. And I think it just shows that a lot of thought of what it is that the future holds is incredible. I mean, you're openly, and it's a very contentious issue. You're like, you know what, AI, it's coming whether we want it or not. How can we use it as an asset? How is it that we can empower the community? How is it that we can explore new areas of immersive gameplay? And how is it that we can punch above our weight class as an indie studio that doesn't have some of the special that a lot of the large, publishers and studios have, that have ended up being impediments to their ability to design and to design rapidly. So, I mean, I'm just very excited to see where all of this goes. That's. I'll get off the soapbox now.
No, that was so well said, and I really appreciate that perspective and feedback. And it's important because we don't really often get the good vibes and the pat on the back kind of vibes, because the feedback that we're looking for are corrections, things that we want to make better. Kind of what do you think about this gameplay system? But to get that sort of validation that this scratches an itch from even just watching us play it today is huge. Because again, what is the number one factor that keeps a lot of studios from getting funded right now is this ask for what are your retention numbers? What are your what's your product market fit? What is the market feel about the game that you're building? And to hear that you've kind of gotten additional feedback, stuff that I haven't been privy to from your Google conversations after they've been introduced to us, that is super cool. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate your support in helping us, even without active funding. Dude, you literally handed us $100,000 in infrastructure costs by supporting us through inception. So thank you.
That wasn't it. No. You know what it was is the passion, the dedication, and the hard work that you've put in, right? And so connecting folks to folks, that's whatever. But if you don't have something that's worth connecting to, then nothing happens. So you need to, I think, really pat yourself on the back. And as you said, you've got a lot of community folks that are empowering you, driving you, and helping you course correct, which there have been a lot of studios that have said, we know what we're doing, we don't need any help. So the fact that you're willing to accept, to ask, and not say, oh, it was designed that way on purpose, it was an intentional design, that's incredible. That's very rare. And coming from that place, I think, is going to set you up for success. Jeremy Lim, or Lin, I think is his name, from NetEase, actually. It was funny, right? He said his first criteria for assessing if a game or a studio is worth investing in is it fun, right? If you play and if you can have fun, is there something there? And I didn't even, I wanted, right? Good old Luke Goblin wanted to play. Right, any name has claimed a name now. I stole a name, and I got excited. So, this is one of the projects that I'm going to be really closely following, and I'm going to be shouting from the rafters. And then that way, when it's as big or larger than, let's be humble, larger than World of Warcraft ever was, I'll say I was there, And then they'll
you
say,
were
sure,
there
you were.
early in the beginning.
Angry man shakes fist and yells at clouds, and also claims that he knew the one and only Irena, with the founder and CEO of Unleashed Games. That's how it works, I think.
I appreciate our next chance to try to get you playing, and we're going to troubleshoot this, and we're going to have another playtest session. I will make this up to you, my friend. But I wanted to show you before we took off, this is another one of our zones that is, again, dynamically generated. It hasn't been crafted. It could still use some iteration. But we were able to this is what we were able to put together to start testing in 24 hours. And now we can endlessly
I was also
build
going to
these
say,
zones.
Desiree also said, it's Gen Z Alpha approved. I don't even know.
Ooh.
Is Gen Z Alpha? Do we have tiers now? It's Gen Z, Alpha, Beta. Is it like every year now?
Well, it's the younger kids, the ones born after 2012. I have like 2 Gen Z kids, and I have a Gen Alpha kid, and they all are singing a "Last Christmas, I gave you my yacht." It's really terrible.
And the very next day,
You paid a phantom tax, I think.
yeah, there we go.
Something, I don't know. Are those words? I think they are. Oh, brain rot. But anyway,
Most
I
people
always thought
hear
this.
me and they use words like brain rot. I think that's you're doing far better. It's like exposure to radiation. Hearing my voice, it just gets worse as time goes on.
Brandon, don't even. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you join us. I'm gonna pop away from here and go into Inception. I wish to fix the server connection issue, and maybe let's schedule another one. We're gonna do a rain check in January after I've migrated to Google Cloud. How about that?
Ooh, look at that. The guys are going to show everything working buttery smooth because
Absolutely.
nothing works as well as a well-oiled machine on GCP, right? Scalable architecture through cloud infrastructure that you can rely upon, built on NVIDIA hardware that you can trust, and a game studio that wants you coming back for more. And Emily has actually quoted you. So now, like we'll create a site, and it just says a cozy game where you can face your nightmares. There we go. It's
That sounds
there's a therapist
that
in the
sounds
game.
about right.
It's the final boss.
It's
There we
the
are. Well, Irena,
final countdown.
there's so many references. I'm just, yeah. I'm just is my version. That's my quote. Don't quote me, please. This has been lovely. This has been amazing. And I mean, just from seeing the leaps and the polish and the little bits that you're not rushing, so it's just right. It's incredible. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your feedback. And I wanted to end with one quick thing. And Brandon, I mean, at some point you will have to come to Rhode Island so that I can show you, all of the boroughs, locations, and the Cthulhu-esque corners of this wonderful place. But I do have to share with the stream before we go the amazing art that Brandon Donnelly put together in honor of this momentous occasion. But damn.
Uh-oh. Tozeb has now quoted me as don't quote me, please, Brandon Donnelly. Oh boy. Look at that. This was, I got a little bit wild with some of the generative art, and then I was like, let's make it anime style, because like this is I just love anime, I'm sorry. I forever will. Call me an otaku if you must, Yeah, there we go. Toes up. Don't quote me, please. It's my favorite. And whilst in Rhode Island, you said that H.P. Lovecraft's house is there, right?
H.P. Lovecraft's house is here, and I believe he's buried here in Rhode Island as well.
Oh wow! And see, I didn't even know that you were going to be a ice mage, and in this you have an orb of condensed ethereal water. So look at that. It's because I listened to the whispers of Cthulhu. I think that's how that works.
That is how that works, and thank you for respecting the elder gods, because through good service you will be eaten first.
Yes. And can we really ask for anything more during this holiday season? Is to be
No,
devoured
and
by.
I think that is the greatest Christmas wish to end a stream on, is really, I mean, there's
When
nothing more beautiful.
when the elder gods come, give the gift that keeps on giving, which is devouring the universe and reality, and be the first to give the sacrifice that starts off such a lovely, happy time of the year. I think that's it. You know,
It's
it's
the most
the hat that you're
wonderful
wearing.
time of the year.
Yeah. Is it a Santa hat, or was Santa secretly right? Is it a tentacle? And
It's
was
not a
that
tentacle.
secretly what was? Yeah, you know, it's that's how
Amazing.
it works.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Again, we're here every Friday playing through our game, and maybe we'll actually get that beacon working when we return in 2025. But we're going to give everybody this upcoming week off because it's Christmas, and many of us do celebrate, and nobody should be doing nothing. So we'll catch you all on January 3rd. And I hope you all have an amazing, wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, Happy Yuletide, and all of
Happy
the
Elder
others.
God Day.
Yes.
But whatever it is that you
Hit that
celebrate.
button and buy a T-shirt with a dragon on it, and that will help us keep making some awesome games. Looks like this. I've already seen a Unleashed T-shirt out in the wild that I wasn't wearing, and I'm super excited about seeing more of them. So, yeah, buy a T-shirt.